Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be looking at the best place to buy a heat press. Where I got my first heat press, I went on Amazon and I found, I think it's called the Francor Studio 15 by 15 heat press. And that worked really well for me for about a year and a half. It printed hundreds of shirts. But after that, I had to find a replacement, and the original model that I bought was no longer available. So I found this website. And now anytime that I need a heat press, hat press, mug press, this is my go-to website. It's called Pro World Inc. They sell a number of things. They sell heat transfers, they sell heat presses, they sell vinyl, sublimation things, as you can see from what you see here on the screen. They sell a lot of things, and this is my go-to place when I need to buy another heat press. So let's look at some of the heat presses that they offer. Starting off, we're going to go and just go to look at all heat presses. The very first one that shows up is the Transpo 15 by 15. This is actually the heat press that I own now. I have two of these, one as a backup just in case something goes wrong with the first one. I've had both of these heat presses for about 2 years now, and it's printed thousands of prints for me. It hasn't lost heat. It hasn't lost its ability to close or anything, and it's just overall, it's a really great heat press. I'm going to just click on it, kind of look at how many reviews it has. Let me zoom in there for you guys so you can see that. I mean, it has 471 reviews, and almost all of them are 5 stars. The price point on this is pretty affordable. I mean, $329 is really not that bad if you think about it. That's probably, if you make 35 shirts and you charge, 20 bucks a piece, you're going to make your money back right away. So it's a really great investment, especially if you've been looking into getting into the t-shirt making or sublimation market. This heat press can be used for sublimation or for the heat transfer vinyls. Just kind of look at some of the reviews. As I said, a lot of people are saying the same thing that I'm saying, and it's that this heat press is a pretty good purchase. I mean, this person says they've had it for some time and it works great, and I can vouch for that. It actually does work really, really good. One thing that I would have done if I had known when I first bought these heat presses is I probably would have went with a little larger model. They have other models here, but the Transpo 15 by 15 is a great starting point. They also have some of the more expensive brands like the Hicks cap presses. A cap press is used when you're printing vinyl or plastisol transfers onto a hat, of course. They have a couple new models that they've come out with recently, like a SemiAuto Press, and what that is a press that you close yourself manually, but it'll open up when the timer goes off by itself. I think that's a pretty cool feature to have if you have a lot going on, or say you're talking with customers and you don't want to have to keep your eye on your heat press. That would probably be a really good press to buy. For me, it's not really necessary, but I mean, if you're going to go one step up from the 15 by 15, that would be a pretty good option. They also have a couple other the larger model here. You can see they have the Transpo 16 by 20. That would be a great press if you're going to do larger items, like if you're going to be sublimating onto, say, a cutting board or something like that. You would need a larger press because most cutting boards aren't going to have be thin enough to fit underneath the 15 by 15. So this would be a great option if that was something you were going to be getting into as far as like sublimation, or if you're going to be doing like can coolers or the can koozies. If you're printing those, you could do a lot of them. You could lay a lot of them out on that larger pressing surface. Again, they have this Transpo Select semi-auto. This one is semi-automatic, but it has the drawer that pulls out. I burned myself a number of times reaching in underneath my heat press. I actually still have a couple of the burn marks. I call them war wounds because, hey, it comes with the game. You're using a heat press. You're using a hot source for your occupation, you can't expect not to burn yourself every once in a while. And since most of the time your heat press is going to be operating at 400 degrees, chances are you're probably gonna, if you bump it with your ankle, not your ankle, with your wrist or something, you're really gonna burn yourself pretty quickly. They have these mini presses. I don't really know what these are used for. They're really small, 9 inches by 12 inches. Some people get them. I wouldn't get one of those. I would not go any smaller than a 15 by 15. I mean, for the price you could get this, but I mean, just spend the extra money and get the bigger press. You'll thank me later, and you'll thank yourself later. Something I've been considering lately, actually was thinking about it today. If I were to get another press, I would get a Swingaway press because the clamshell, which is the Transpo 15 by 15, is a clamshell because of how it closes like a clam's mouth. This Transpo Swinger 16 by 20 is a swing-away heat press. So this part right here is going to swing away from the surface, so it'll give you all of the area for you to lay out your garment or the item that you're going to be pressing, and it also presses straight down instead of with a hinged motion. So I think that this would be great if I were to do more sublimation on things like sublimated stones, cutting boards, license plates, things like that, where I want the pressure to be even, straight down. Because it can be a little bit challenging when you're printing something like a stone, like a sublimated stone, and with the hinge, because it'll kind of make the stone kind of like, you know, lean upward when the clamshell comes down on it, because the pressure's not coming straight from above. So that's a great press to get. I'd like to get one. It runs about $500. Maybe when I save up some money for the next investment, maybe that's something I'll consider. When it comes to cap presses, they make some of the best cap presses. I've not used any other brand, so I can't really say how other brands perform, but I know for a fact that the auto open works amazingly. A few years back, there was a big thing that came out and we made hats for it, and I can tell you that this thing could print. I was able to print about 60 hats an hour is how many I could do by myself if I was just like working constantly. So, and I did that for 3 or 4 hours straight, and this thing did not miss a beat. It was right on, and I've had it for 3 years now. One thing that did go wrong with it, but Pro World was really good about it. My, I guess it's called like a piston, the thing that helps it to close and open. It went bad, and even though it was 2 or 3 years old, I called Pro World and they actually sent me another one. They didn't tell me how to install it, but I didn't really ask. But they sent me another one. They didn't charge me any money. They didn't charge me shipping. They just looked up my order number from a few years back and just sent me the part and said if I wanted to put it on, they just sent it to me, and they did, and it was pretty great. So if you want to get into doing some hats, this is a very good heat press to use. Well, hat press. This model they just came out with, I'd love to try because it has the different size cap plattens for the different styles of hat, like the low profile, the mid profile, and then you have the high profile like the flat bill snapback. So this would be a really good thing to try out. Again, if I was to be making some investments, this would be something I would probably consider if it was needed. My other one works fine. One thing I'd say is if you don't need to make the investment, then don't. I mean, use what you have until you absolutely need the next thing. But if you think the next thing will help you to progress faster, if it'll help you with your production, then do what you should, do what's necessary so that production goes better for you. I just bought this mug press I think it was October. I had a vacuum press, like a 3D vacuum press or something like that. I hated how it worked. I don't like it. It broke on me. It didn't work well. So, and I used it mainly for trying to make coffee mugs. Well, I bought this, and this thing has been amazing. I mean, it paid for itself in a month. And I mean, it's only $189, $189.99. Plus, I think shipping was free. So this thing paid for itself, and it's amazing. I mean, I can do a mug in, I think it's like 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah, I mean, with a 3D press or something, you could probably do a bunch of mugs at once if it works properly. But with this, I get consistent results, and you know, it just works really, really well. So I really like this. If I were to be somebody that did lots of mugs, I would just buy more than one of these. Just buy 3 or 4 or 5, run them all at the same time. They heat up really quick. One weird thing, when I got it and I heated it up the first time, it smelled weird like fish for a little bit, but maybe that was just the coatings burning off, you know, like getting accustomed to the, you know, being heated up and stuff because it was brand new. So it smelled kind of weird for a while, but now turn it on, heats up in less than 5 minutes, and I can get right into pressing mugs. If you do events, this would be great if you had a sublimation printer and this mug press and a couple blank mugs, because you could take your camera, take a picture of somebody, like, or if they had a photo on their phone, have them send it right to you, print it off on a sublimation paper, make them a mug, charge $15, $15, $20, and I mean, boom, you could pay for this press in 10 mugs. We did a craft show and we sold, I think, 50 mugs, so it pays for itself. As far as these other presses, I don't have any experience with them. I've heard that they're really good. That's something you'll have to check out yourself. I've heard nothing but good things about the Max Press and the Hottronics presses. Those are from Stalls usually, but Pro World also offers them. I mean, if I were to, I don't know, have an obscene amount of extra money laying around and I just wanted to buy the top of the line press, this is the Cadillac of presses as far as I've heard and how I've seen them in action. This is kind of like one of those things that you get when you're treating yourself. I mean, $2,250 is not a little bit of money. That's quite a bit to invest. But if you have it and that's what you want, you know, it's your business. You know, it's your dream. So live your dream how you want to live it, because hey, you could do this one time. So you might as well do it to the best of your ability. With the Lord's blessings, the Lord has blessed us to be able to do many things with these other presses, and I'm really happy with them. So I've heard a lot of good things about the Geonites and things like that. Like I said, check out Pro World if you want a great heat press, a good starter heat press. Go back to the top, get the Transpo 15x15, and you won't regret it. You may make some mistakes, do a lot of practicing, but once you start, just keep going. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Again, you guys have a blessed and wonderful day, and I pray that the Lord blesses your business as He has blessed ours. God bless.